EVS 1, Lesson 22, Transport and Communication. Children, this is a new lesson in EVS 1. So I shall explain you this part first, transport, and then communication. So we begin with transport. What is transport? Can you tell me? Yes? Okay. Taking people and goods from one place to another is known as transport. So taking people and goods are things. We take the people and the things from one place to another is known as transport. Now, what things take you and the goods from one place to another? Yes, very good. Bus, train, good. Rickshaw, cars, ship, very good. So all these things take you from one place to another. Now, look at this picture, children. I'm going to ask you a few more questions. Find the means of transport used to travel high above or away from the earth. Now look at all these vehicles and tell me which means of transport is used high above and away from the earth. Yes? Yes, this one. It's the spacecraft. Good. Now, what about this remaining? From the remaining, which one do we do not use in Mumbai? Anything that is not used mostly in Mumbai? Anyone? Yes, we do not see the donkeys. We do not see on the roads of Mumbai these donkeys being used for transport. Very good. The next question. Have you seen the remaining means of transport anywhere before? Where have you seen them? Yes, we see these trucks on the roads. When we go to Gateway of India, we can see this ship or the boat. At the airport, we see the planes. On the roads, we can see the cycle, bicycle, and the motorbike. What about the person transporting this thing? What are they called? They are the coolies. We call them coolies. Where do we see them? We see them at the outgoing stations. Outgoing trains, the trains which go out of stations, that is out of Mumbai, far away to your native places. When you go to your native places by the trains, we see these coolies. They help you to carry your things, to transport your things from outside the station to the trains, into the train compartment. Good. Now, we used different means and modes of transport at different times in history. The means of transport we use nowadays are faster and safer than the olden ones. Even if the modern means of transport have been invented in modern times, men and animals are still used for the purpose of transport. Now children, look at this picture. For what purpose do we use each of the above means of transport? Yes? Now for what do we use this bullock cart? Yes, to transport the things, the grains or the crops, whatever crops they grow, vegetables. Even people sit in this and they go from one place to another. The trucks, goods are transported in the trucks. Many things are brought to Mumbai in these trucks. What about the train? Yes, you go to your native places in these mail trains. Which of these three was the first to be used by man? Was it the train or the truck or the bullock cart? Yes, the bullock cart. Right in the beginning we used, not in the beginning, after many hundreds of years people started using the bullock carts. Later on these came into being. Which part of the vehicle is common in all the three? In all the three, what do you say thing being used? The wheels. You can see these wheels here also, and in these also vehicle. In all these three vehicles, we can see the wheels. In the olden days, planks were used to transport objects. Can you see this plank? This is a plank. Now, the person has tied something rope, and plant rope. He has made a rope out of the plant and is pulling it, and it's quite heavy and difficult to pull. It's quite heavy. Man used to see logs of wood and round boulders rolling down the mountain slopes. It is thought that these observations gave him the idea of the wheel. So, can you see this log? It's rolling. Yes, observe that this log from here, it went down so fast it went. It's round and it went very fast. So with this, observing this, he has got the idea of the wheel and he has invented the wheel. Now later, by attaching wheels to the planks, the speed of transport increased. So imagine, for the same plank, now he has put wheels and is pulling. So now it is easy to pull and it is faster also. So invention of the wheel is an important step in the progress of mankind. Even if ultra means of transport have been invented in modern times, in some part of the world, men and animals are still used for the purpose of transport. Like you can see this yak. Yaks are used in inaccessible parts like the snowy areas where there is lot of snow. So people use yaks. Have you seen these camels? Where are they used? Yes, in the desert areas. This is a palanquin or the dolies. These are used in the mountainous areas. Certain areas you cannot take your vehicle right on top, so people are used to carry this dolies or the palanquin to bring down the people or to take them on top. Water and wind are substances that flow. Pipes are used to transport the substances. So these are flow. You can see the pipe water coming through the pipe in your homes. Some of you may be having this pipeline gas. The gas coming through the pipes into your homes. Water has been transported through pipes or canals since ancient times. So very ancient time, hundreds of years ago, since then the man has used pipes to transport water. It is safer to transport combustible substances such as mineral oil and natural gas through pipes. So it is very safe to carry combustible substances through the pipes. Crude oil. Now, crude oil is transported from the oil well to the refinery, from the wells to the refinery. Now, what is crude oil? It is a substance found under the ground and it is removed out and then taken to the refinery to be refined. And after refining, it is transported through the pipelines to the marketplaces. And even these vehicles are used to transport them to the marketplaces. The next part is the communication. So what is communication, children? Do you communicate? Have you seen anybody communicating? Yes, we all communicate. Communication is talking to one another. You talk and the other person responds back. So obtaining and sending various types of information is called communication. You get the information and you send the information. That is called communication. How do you receive information or send information? Can you tell anybody how you receive nowadays information or you send information? Yes, nowadays we are using the mobile phones, the WhatsApp. I send you a lot of information on the study group. You also send me so many things on the on my personal number. That is called communication. Now, let's see how man began to communicate with one another. A few centuries ago, messages were sent by tying a letter to the foot of the pigeon. Centuries ago, hundreds of years ago, in the beginning, centuries ago, man started sending messages tying. He wrote something and he started tying it to the foot of the pigeon, and the pigeon is to go to the person required and used to deliver the message. It's a give the letter. Messages were also sent through runners. So these people used to go and announce the messages. In later times, telegrams and postal services came into use. So later on, people started writing letters and sending to their near and dear ones. Now, all these methods were very slow as compared to modern methods. Imagine you write a letter and it will take so many days and days to go to that other part far away till the person receives it. Nowadays, we have new techniques for very quick communication. Communication is now used in every field. With the help of media such as radio, television, internet, mobile phones, we can easily communicate with several people at the same time. Man-made satellites are used for this purpose. You can see now, although we are not allowed to come out, we can communicate with one another. How? Yes, we come on the Google Meet and we communicate with one another. Earlier, I used to send you messages on the mobile phone, so it's very easy to communicate. Even for you, for your loved ones, for your relatives which are away in the villages, you can communicate to them very easily through the mobiles or through the internet. In the olden days, it was very difficult. It took days and days for any letters or anything, any message you wanted to send for your relatives. Newspapers, periodicals, books, radio, television, internet, etc. are all means of mass communication. Now, mass communication means at one time you can communicate to many people, thousands of people. You can see on the television, every house has a television. So, whatever you want to tell, it is means you can send it on the radio or television, and you can communicate through the books also, through the newspapers also. Now, children, right in the beginning, how we started communicating, there was no languages. There were no languages. Man used gestures and facial expressions. So you can see some of them are showing angry face, smiling face, happy face. Here there's a happy face. Here is making some sound. So people used different expressions, even signs to come here, go there. All these types of signs and facial expressions were used to communicate. Later, different sounds came to mean different things. So soon they started keeping different names for these different sounds, and this is how it led to the development of the language. After spoken language, man invented writing. He began to carve his thoughts onto the walls of the caves and pieces of wood. Communication began in this way in very ancient times. You can see this Stone Age man carving whatever he wanted, he used to show it on the walls. And that's how people used to see and think. You could express your thoughts By drawing on the walls or carving on the walls or on the wood. Now, cats, dogs, sparrows, crows make different sounds in different circumstances. You will find that other animals also make such sounds. This means that animals also communicate with one another. They also send and receive messages. Fish. Fish live in water. How do fish communicate? Yes, fish communicate by vibrating their swim bladder. Fish communicate with noises including grunts, chirps, and pops. Children, nowadays we see very few sparrows. Why? Why do you think we see very few sparrows? It is because every person is using a mobile phone and the sparrows are disturbed by the waves coming from the mobile phones. So do you think it is safe to use mobile phone? No. We are spoiling the health of these sparrows. So sparrows are disappearing from our environment. So try and make least use of mobile phones. Now your children, we can see these people performing. You can see the Shahir, you can see this magician. Here the street play they're doing, puppet show is being shown, the clown is enacting. You can see this person with a bioscope and the child is watching what is filmed inside. Here this is a live entertainment. You can see face to face all these people performing. So these are called live forms of entertainment because we can see the artist in front of you. Nowadays we have other form of entertainment. How are we entertained nowadays? We do not have much of these. We usually sometimes we are. You may have remembered on the Children's Day we show you magic shows. So once in a way you get to see this street plays. Maybe when you go to the villages or sometimes they arrange in your areas street plays. Puppet shows also very rarely we get to see. If there's a circus we get to see these clowns enacting. Bioscopes also you may be getting to see in the villages. Nowadays we do not get to see in Mumbai most of these things. Very rarely we see these things. Which are the other form of entertainment? How are we entertained? Yes. Now we are entertained through this radio, television, internet. Now these programs are performed far away and they are filmed or recorded and then transmitted to us. So we can see and hear the programs using devices, all these devices. They're not in front of us. People do not perform in front of us, but they're recorded far away and they're filmed and then they're sent to us. So always remember, means of transport and communication are to be used as needed. Only if it's required, we are supposed to use it. Excess use of these means is harmful for us, for all living beings as well as for the environment. You see now how sparrows are disappearing. It is harmful for our health also. Now means of transport is making us very lazy because we feel it's very comfortable. Let's sit on the motorbike and go. Why to walk? Even rickshaws, so easily rickshaws are available. So sit in the rickshaw and go. No, walking is needed. So you have to remember that this transport and communication is supposed to be used wisely and necessary if it's necessary or urgently, because it is otherwise harmful. What we have learned: information about modes of transport in different periods of time, the importance of invention of the wheel, means of communication in different periods of time, live entertainment and means of transmission. Thank you. 1, Lesson 22, Transport and Communication. Question 1. Fill in the blanks. A. Newspaper is a means of communication. B. Aeroplane is a means of transport. C. Radio is a transmitted form of entertainment. D. Pipes are used to transport the substances like water and gas. Question 2. Say true or false. A. In the olden days, the birds were used as a means of communication. True. B. Street plays is a transmitted form of an entertainment. False. C. Internet is a means of mass communication. True. D. These days, we use only gestures and facial expressions and different kinds of sounds to communicate. False. E. Like man, animals such as cats, dogs, sparrows, and cows make different sounds to communicate different messages. True. Question 3. Name the following. A. Live form of entertainment. Answer. Street play. B. Means of communication. Answer. Newspaper. C. To travel far away from the earth. Answer. Spacecraft. D. Disturbed by the waves coming from the mobile phones. Answer. Sparrows. Question 3. Answer the following questions. A. What is used to transport liquid substances? Give examples. Answer. Pipes are used to transport liquid substances such as water, petrol, natural gas, crude oil, etc. B. Which problem is created by an excessive use of means of transport and communication? Answer. An excessive use of means of transport and communication creates a problem of threat to the environment by way of pollution. C. How did man invent the idea of a wheel? Answer. Man used to see logs of wood and round boulders rolling down mountain slopes. With these observations, man invented the idea of a wheel. D. What was the benefit of the invention of a wheel? Answer. The invention of a wheel saved the time and efforts of man. Children, take your EVS 1 notebook, take a new page, write today's date, write the name of the lesson, and write the notes. And do start learning. Thank you.